Welcome to the Board Business Channel. All right, so get this. We are talking about Abico.
Abico.
Yeah, this Taiwanese company that's been around longer than some countries.
Wow.
Seriously. And hold on to your hats, folks, because they have their hands in everything.
I know.
We're talking electric car parts, high-tech art preservation, you name it, they're probably doing it.
It's true. Their portfolio is incredibly diverse. It's really impressive how they've managed to anticipate market trends and position themselves for success time and time again.
Okay, so back up a sec.
Yeah.
Abico started way back in the 60s, right? Not exactly the Silicon Valley we know today.
Yeah.
What were they up to back then? Did they have like a hit single or something?
Not quite a hit single. Their beginnings were actually pretty humble.
Okay.
They started out as a distributor for Canon office equipment.
Oh.
Copiers, fax machines, that sort of thing.
Fax machines. Oh, man, takes me back to my middle school days. Remember those curly thermal papers?
Oh, yeah.
And the constant busy signals? Good times. Okay, so how on earth did they go from fax machines to building the future of transportation?
Right.
That's a giant leap.
It really is. It's a testament to their ability to adapt and evolve. They've essentially mastered the art of transformation.
Okay.
Think about it. They started with office equipment, then rode the wave of digital cameras when those became huge. But then when smartphones came along and kind of killed the digital camera market,
Right.
they didn't just sit around and pout.
Right, because who even uses digital cameras anymore? Besides, my mom.
Exactly.
So what did they do? Did they throw a giant office equipment going out of business sale?
They did something much smarter.
Okay.
They diversified.
Oh.
They got into manufacturing.
Okay.
They started investing, and they did it all incredibly strategically.
Yep.
One example is how they became a key player in the electric vehicle supply chain.
Oh, wow.
You know, there's been a ton of buzz lately about robotics with big companies like NVIDIA and TSMC making pronouncements about the future of the industry.
Yeah, I think I saw something about that on Twitter.
Yeah.
Something about robots taking over the world.
Yeah.
Pretty standard Tuesday, really.
Well, Abico was ahead of that curve.
Really?
They saw the potential of robotics and electric vehicles early on, and they started making strategic moves.
Oh,
Their subsidiaries that are involved in those areas have seen their stock prices skyrocket recently.
hold on. So they basically predicted the future and cashed in. Talk about being in the right place at the right time.
Exactly.
Now, we're talking actual robots here.
Right.
Not just those little robot vacuums that bump around my apartment.
You got it. We're talking about sophisticated industrial robots, the kind of technology that's going into autonomous vehicles
Wow.
and transforming entire industries.
Okay.
Abico is right in the thick of it.
Okay, now that's impressive. They went from pushing paper to pushing the boundaries of technology. Color me impressed.
And that's not all. Let's talk about their venture capital arm.
Okay.
They've got this unique advantage because they have access to both Taiwanese and Japanese markets.
Venture capital sounds fancy. Are they funding flying cars and personal teleportation devices? Because I've been waiting for those.
Well, maybe not those yet,
Okay.
but they are investing in some really cutting-edge startups,
Ah.
particularly in digital transformation and AI applications.
Oh.
For example, they were early investors in Starlux Airlines, which is shaking things up in the airline industry.
Starlux.
Huh?
I think I saw an ad for them somewhere. They have fancy pajamas and mood lighting on their planes, right?
Exactly. They're all about creating a luxurious and unique travel experience.
Yeah.
Abico saw that vision early on and decided to invest.
Okay.
And that's not all. They even helped facilitate a collaboration between a high-end yakiniku restaurant called Hutong and an optical company called Henry Tai.
Wait, hold up. Yakiniku and optics. This is a fever dream.
I know, right?
I'm so confused, but also strangely intrigued.
It sounds odd, but it actually worked out brilliantly.
Oh, okay.
Abico has a knack for seeing the potential in unexpected partnerships. They helped bring these two seemingly unrelated companies together, and they ended up creating a really innovative and successful collaboration.
Okay. I'm starting to see a pattern here. Abico is all about seeing connections that other people miss. They're the Sherlock Holmes of the business world.
Yeah.
But instead of solving crimes, they're solving the puzzle of how to stay ahead of the game.
That's a great way to put it.
Dang.
They're constantly looking for opportunities to connect the dots and create something new and valuable.
Right.
And it's not just about random pairings. They also understand the importance of integrating systems.
Ooh, systems. My favorite. What kind of systems are we talking about?
Well, they have a really strong distribution network for things like office equipment, which makes sense considering that's where they started.
Yeah.
But they've also expanded into things like smart hospital systems.
Oh, wow.
They're basically helping hospitals streamline their operations and improve patient care through technology.
So they're not just selling stuff. They're actually thinking about how to make things work better.
Okay, Abico, you're officially blowing my mind right now. They're like the Mary Poppins of the business world, practically perfect in every way.
Don't get ahead of yourself. We still have a lot more to uncover about Abico
Okay.
and their fascinating business ventures.
All right. I'll try to contain my excitement. But you gotta admit, this company is like a unicorn. Rare, magical, and kind of hard to believe it actually exists.
I'll give you that. They're definitely one of a kind.
Yeah.
But let's dive deeper into some of their specific business areas and see what makes them tick.
Lead the way, my friend. I'm ready for more Abico adventures.
So welcome back to the Board Business Channel. We're going to be taking a closer look at all the exciting things Abico is doing.
It's like we've stumbled into a business version of Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Yeah.
There are surprises around every corner. Last time we talked about Abico's amazing transformation from a humble office equipment distributor to a global powerhouse. Yes. And today, we are going to zoom in on some of their key business areas.
Okay.
We'll untangle how these seemingly separate pieces all fit together and what makes each one so successful.
Okay, let's do it. Where should we start? Should we spin a wheel or something?
How about we start with their manufacturing arm? Remember, that's where it all began. They went from simply distributing Canon products to actually manufacturing digital cameras.
Right.
That was a huge leap.
Right. And they became a leading EMS provider.
Yes.
Now, I know that sounds all techy and complicated.
Yeah.
Can you explain it in a way that even I can understand?
Of course. EMS stands for Electronics Manufacturing Services.
Okay.
Basically, it means that Abico is the brains and brawn behind a lot of the tech products we use every day.
Yep.
They design, manufacture, and even test electronic components for other companies.
It's like they're the secret ingredient in our tech gadgets.
Yeah.
Kind of like the awesome bass player in a band that no one knows about, but is totally essential to the sound.
That's a great analogy. They're the behind-the-scenes heroes of the tech world.
Okay.
And they're experts in optical, mechanical, and electronic integration technologies.
Oh.
Which is a fancy way of saying they know how to make all those tiny parts work together seamlessly.
Okay, I'm starting to get it.
Yeah.
So it's not just about making stuff, it's about understanding how all the pieces fit together to create something amazing.
Yes.
Like a perfectly choreographed dance routine, but with circuits and wires.
Exactly. But here's what's really fascinating. They've used that manufacturing expertise to branch out into totally new areas.
Right, okay.
Remember we talked about their involvement in the electric vehicle supply chain?
Oh, yeah. Electric cars so hot right now.
Yeah.
But how does a company that used to make cameras suddenly become a player in the electric car game? Did they just like swap out the lenses for batteries?
It's not quite that simple.
Okay.
But they did make a very strategic move.
Okay.
They recognized the potential of the electric vehicle market early on and started investing in the specific technologies needed to be a key player. And that foresight is paying off big time, as we saw with their subsidiaries' stock prices shooting up like rockets.
Ah, so they're not just following trends, they're actually creating them.
Right.
That's next level business savvy right there.
Right. They're not just making parts, they're actually helping to shape the future of transportation.
Wow.
And it's not just about cars either. They've also expanded into things like smart homes and the Internet of Things.
Ooh, the Internet of Things. That sounds very futuristic. Are we talking about like refrigerators that order groceries for me? Because I'm kind of into that.
That's the idea.
Okay.
Abico is helping to make the devices in our homes, things like thermostats, security systems, even appliances,
Right.
smarter and more connected. It's all about making our lives easier and more efficient through technology.
Okay, so they're not just making the gadgets. They're thinking about how those gadgets can actually improve our daily lives. They're like the thoughtful gift givers of the tech world, always choosing something that's both cool and useful.
I love that analogy. And speaking of thoughtful gifts, let's talk about their venture capital arm.
Okay.
Remember we mentioned how they have this unique advantage of being connected to both Taiwan and Japan?
Yeah. It's like they have a double dose of business brilliance tapping into the best of both worlds. But Remind me, what exactly is venture capital? Is it like a fancy club where you have to wear a monocle and sip brandy while talking about stocks?
Not quite.
Okay.
It's basically about investing in promising startups and helping them grow. Think of it like being a super supportive mentor with really deep pockets.
Ooh, mentorship with money.
Yeah.
I wish I had a venture capitalist back when I was starting out. Instead, I just had my grandma and her endless supply of homemade cookies.
Well, Abico's venture capital arm is all about spotting those hidden gems, those startups that have the potential to change the game, and giving them the resources they need to succeed.
So they're like the fairy godmothers of the startup world, but instead of glass slippers, they're handing out funding and expertise.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Oh.
And remember, they have that unique perspective of being connected to both the Taiwanese and Japanese markets.
Right.
They can spot trends that others miss and connect startups with the right people and resources on a global scale.
Okay. I'm officially convinced that Abico is run by a bunch of business geniuses.
Yeah.
They're like the Avengers of the corporate world, each with their own superpower,
Right?
but working together to save the day,
Yeah.
or at least disrupt industries and make a ton of money.
I like the way you think. But seriously, they have a knack for spotting talent and potential.
Yeah.
And they're not just throwing money at any shiny new thing that comes along.
Okay.
They're very strategic about the companies they choose to invest in.
So it's not just about making a quick buck. It's about nurturing those startups and helping them reach their full potential.
Yes.
That's actually pretty awesome.
It is. And it's not just limited to tech startups either.
Okay.
They've invested in a wide range of companies, including Pinkoi, which is an online marketplace for handmade and unique goods.
Ooh, Pinkoi. I love that site. It's like Etsy, but with a more global, curated vibe. I've gotten some amazing jewelry and home decor from there.
Exactly. It's all about supporting creativity and entrepreneurship, which aligns perfectly with Abico's overall philosophy of promoting culture and innovation.
Okay, so they're not just about making profits. They're actually trying to make the world a more beautiful and interesting place.
Yes.
Abico, you're seriously winning me over.
And we're just scratching the surface of their cultural ventures. Remember we talked about their work in digital archiving? Who knew a company making robot parts would also be passionate about preserving historical artifacts?
Yeah, that part blew my mind. It's like finding out your tough guy biker uncle secretly collects antique teacups. But seriously, tell me more about this digital archiving stuff. It sounds super cool.
It really is. They've become leaders in the field using their technological expertise to help museums and archives around the world preserve their collections for future generations.
Wait, so they're like the digital Indiana Joneses of the art world? Raiding tombs? I mean, carefully preserving priceless treasures with lasers and scanners.
That's one way to put it.
Okay.
They're working with some incredibly valuable and delicate pieces, everything from priceless works of art to historical photographs, even ancient manuscripts.
No way. Ancient manuscripts. Like scrolls with secret codes and hidden maps. Okay, this just got 10 times cooler.
They're using this incredible high-precision digital scanning technology that captures every detail of these objects in stunning clarity.
Oh, wow.
It's like having a digital time machine.
Wow.
Imagine being able to zoom in on a brushstroke of a Van Gogh painting
Right.
or decipher the faded writing on a centuries-old document.
Whoa, that's amazing. It's like they're bringing the past to life.
Yeah.
And making sure those treasures are preserved forever. Talk about a legacy.
Exactly. And it's not just about preserving the past.
Okay.
It's about making those treasures accessible to everyone.
So they're democratizing access to culture and knowledge.
Abico.
You're like the Robin Hood of the art world, stealing from the stuffy museums. I mean, partnering with them to share those treasures with the world.
You've got it. They're using technology to break down barriers and make sure everyone can experience the wonder of history and art.
Yeah.
It's really inspiring.
I'm totally on board with their mission. So to recap, they're manufacturing geniuses, venture capital wizards, and cultural crusaders. Is there anything this company can't do?
Well, they also have a substantial real estate portfolio.
Ooh, real estate. Do they own like a tropical island or something? Can we go visit?
We'll save the real estate talk for another time.
Okay.
What's important is that Abico is constantly evolving, looking for new opportunities, and finding ways to use their expertise to make a positive impact.
Okay, I'm starting to get a real sense of who Abico is and what they stand for. They're not just a company. They're a force for good in the world.
I think that's a great way to put it. They're constantly pushing boundaries, embracing change, and using technology to make the world a better place.
I'm definitely a fan. Okay, are you ready for the grand finale of our Abico extravaganza? Because I'm feeling like we're about to uncover the secret recipe to their success.
You might be right about that. We've seen how they have this uncanny ability to adapt and transform.
Right.
I mean, they started with office equipment, rode the waves of digital cameras and smartphones, and now they're leading the charge in things like electric vehicles and robotics. It's
Yeah.
really kind of mind-boggling.
Seriously, it's like they have a crystal ball that tells them what the next big thing's going to be. They're always one step ahead. But here's the million-dollar question. What's the secret sauce? What drives that adaptability? Is it just about chasing profits, or is there something deeper going on?
That's the question, isn't it? I think it's a combination of factors.
Okay.
They're definitely not afraid to take risks and try new things, but there's also a clear sense of purpose in everything they do.
Okay.
It's not just about making money. It's about using their expertise and resources to make a positive impact on the world.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Break it down for me. How do you see that purpose playing out in their different business ventures?
Well, just think about their diverse portfolio, manufacturing, venture capital, cultural preservation. On the surface, these seem like totally separate things.
Right.
But if you look closer, you see a common thread, a belief in the power of innovation, and a desire to create something valuable and lasting.
I'm starting to see the connections. It's like they're playing a giant game of connected dots, but instead of dots, they're using businesses and technologies to create a bigger picture.
Exactly. And they're not just chasing the latest fad. They're investing in technologies and ideas that they believe will shape the future for the better.
Right.
I mean, they're not just making robot parts. They're thinking about how those robots can be used to improve our lives.
Right.
And they're not just investing in startups. They're mentoring those companies and helping them achieve their full potential.
So they're not just adaptable. They're intentional.
Yes.
There's a method to their madness. And that's what sets them apart. They're not just reacting to change. They're actively shaping it.
Exactly. And their cultural preservation work fits perfectly into that narrative. I mean, by preserving the past, they're helping us understand our present and build a better future.
Yeah.
They see the connections between seemingly disparate things, and they use those connections to create value.
It's like they're saying, hey, the past, present, and future are all connected. Let's use what we've learned to make the world a more awesome place.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm buying what they're selling.
Me too. And I think that's a really important takeaway for our listeners.
Yeah.
Whether you're an entrepreneur, an investor, or just someone who's curious about the world, there's a lot we can learn from their story.
Absolutely. They're a company that's not afraid to take risks,
Right.
to embrace change, and to think big.
Yeah.
And in a world that's constantly evolving, those are pretty valuable qualities.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
So what's the final verdict? What's the one thing we want our listeners to remember about Abico?
I think it's this. Abico is a shining example of how to succeed in the 21st century. They're innovative, they're adaptable, and they have a clear sense of purpose. They're not just building businesses, they're building a better future.
Well said. And by the way, full disclosure, my friend Steve actually put Abico on my radar.
Oh, really?
He's the executive director of the Arizona Taiwan office.
Oh, wow.
And he knows a thing or two about successful companies.
Well, shout out to Steve for the hot tip.
Yeah.
And to all of you amazing listeners out there, thank you for tuning in to the Board Business channel. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of business and innovation.